some news for Go. 1.14 has been released. This brings a couple of features. We can go to the release notes. One of the main things that I personally have been looking forward to is going to be there's something about where is the faster, I think 1.14 brings in faster tests, quick to fail, and close all, but I don't know where that is on the release notes. Yeah, so you can close down everything at the end of a test, so it makes your test faster. Allows you to make sure that you're keeping certain time tests. That allows you to shut it down quicker and have a little bit better control over what you've left open. So if you start like the HTTP test server or you start anything internally, you can go ahead and shut that down. Of course, as our current situation, pretty much everything has been canceled, so that's Polyglot YG, and Startup Edmonton has been closed as well. So today I'm not only going to be talking about Prometheus, but setting up Prometheus with Grafana and just having a kind of a basic example, as well as what we're using it for at Levin. So my name is Brandon Glowatsky. I work at Levin. So Levin Electronics, we're doing kind of IoT objects. So one of our main products that I'm working on right now is a smart light switch. So we're doing wireless light switches with a cloud backend. So there's 4 of us there, and our main stack is all Go. So we do a little bit of Python. Mostly all of the web services have been in Go, focusing again with like our RPCs and everything in the ecosystem. You can find me at www.github.com/Glowatsk. So if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out this way. I'm also in the Dev Edmonton Slack. The people that are in here, I think you all know me. Yeah, everybody has seen me or met me once. So have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll do what I can to help you. I'll try to go ahead and post a little bit of an example of what I'm doing online. And just if anybody has used it before. So what is Prometheus? Prometheus was made at SoundCloud, and it's something to export metrics. Metrics to your monitoring system is going to be the short form of it. Out of the box, it works for getting any sort of server metrics, so uptime, status, CPU, RAM, anything with that. And you can build and export custom metrics to any endpoint that you want. It's a blast to set up. You can set it up for any sort of stack. It is written in Go, which is why we've been using it, but you can use it with Python, you can use it with any other source as well. Has anybody used Prometheus, or is anybody using Prometheus? This is where I look at the chat. Doesn't look like it. It's awfully quiet, though with one-way communication, I have no idea what is or what is not going on. So apologize if I ramble. Okay, so a couple of things with Prometheus is it comes with its own query language, PromQL. So you can write custom queries. It's not as extensible as something like SQL, but it does allow you to do a little bit of data munging if you have to. It works quite well. It's all exposed through one specific endpoint on your program, which is metrics, and you can use it to query a number of different servers, programs, anything you have it set up to, or you can aggregate the data and then analyze it as you see fit. So the big implementation and the way to do data visualization with Prometheus, we've chosen Grafana. So has everybody here looked or used at Grafana? Oh, nice. So Anthony's at least came across it as well. Yeah, there's a bunch of different implementations, like with Docker and Kubernetes. Some of the base roles come with Prometheus set up already for server monitoring, so it is quite nice if you're using it already. Like, for example, a lot of our Ansible playbooks and Ansible roles already have Prometheus built in, so it's easy enough to add that role and expose the endpoint for us to get all the server metrics to anything that we're using. So Grafana is just, again, an open source platform for monitoring and observability. It's a beautiful tool for data visualization. It really does anything that you want it to. It's completely extensible. There's custom built dashboards. There's public dashboards that have been made already for specific services, such as even Prometheus. So it's easy to build in, set up your endpoint, and have like a data visualization graph that you can show people and watch. You can set alerts through Grafana. You can have your logs be parsed through Grafana. You can really do so much with it. It's quite impressive. So really it comes down to it's just a beautiful, amazing data visualization tool. My background is originally in a lot of doing data analysis, data visualization. You'll get the people who are doing the Python, Jupyter notebooks. Well, they should really evolve and use everything in Grafana because you can do absolutely anything with it. I do love it. I do like using it, and I think it's beautiful. So we'll continue on and jump right into an example. So I hope you can all see my desktop and jump along here. So what I've done, just for kind of the basic example, is this font readable enough, and is the color visible enough? I don't know how much of a delay, so I apologize if I pause for a really long time. Okay, so let's get into the actual Go portion for today. So all I'm doing here is setting up a basic HTTP router, HTTP server, and setting up one Prometheus counter. So this just goes to show how easy it is to set up. Oh, perfect, it is readable. So this just goes to show how easy it is to set up a counter. So Prometheus provides a package called PromAuto, which allows you to automatically create and export and register a metric that you're going to be tracking with Prometheus. So if you're on top of the base metrics that Prometheus comes with and that's built in, and we'll go over that in a little bit, you can add any sort of metric that you'd like, but to use this metric you have to register it to Prometheus. Prometheus will register it and then start recording it. So you can see here I go through and we're going to create a new counter. So there's a few different data types that Prometheus uses. A counter is just something that's ever incrementing up. So I create a new counter for this example. You pass in your set of options. All I've given it here is pass in the name parameter. And then I go ahead and I set up two instances, my router and my two endpoints, my zip counter as I've called it, and the metrics, which is the prom HTTP handler, which exports the metrics to Prometheus. I serve it there, and here's my function for my HTTP handler function, where I just increment the counter, and I'm going to console log something so we can see that it's actually happened. Is there any questions about our basic Go server? think I have a 10-second delay, but I'm just going to give it some, see if there's any questions. Okay, so no questions. Let's go ahead and we're going to start up our web server. So that's on port 8080. So now we got to go ahead and set up our Prometheus, and we got to go set up Grafana as well. So the Prometheus example I have set up is just going to be the Docker example. I'll show you what I've set up here. So Docker file is really simple. We just take the base Prometheus image, go ahead and add in our configuration. I'll show you what the configuration looks like as well. So we can set just our Prometheus configurations, how often it scrapes the metrics endpoint, what it's looking for, and we set up the targets that it's looking at. So here you can set up, if you had many servers, many instances, here you could automatically populate this and fill this in with Ansible or Puppet or Chef or anything you're using. But I've just set it up manually for this example. It's just pointing at our Go instance. Any questions about the Prometheus configuration? Yeah, please, like if you have a question, type it out. I'm looking at chat on the other monitor. I just have no idea or don't have a feel of how much my delay is. So we have our Docker set up. We can go ahead and run our example. Yeah, so I set up those rules in the prometheus.yaml file. The Prometheus base image has a lot of this stuff set up already, so I set the scrape time, like normally it's 15 seconds, I put it down to 5 for the example. And then we also have to have, so let's see if I have, so I already have Prometheus running. Prometheus is really easy, or sorry, Grafana running. Grafana is really easy to get running as well. You just have to run on the Grafana website. Let's see here. So Grafana, you can go ahead and just pull down the Docker image, and all you have to do is run it. The rest you can do through the administration dashboard. So it's just Docker run on whichever port you want with the base image that you've set up. I have it running already. So then we can go ahead and log into our Prometheus and check out what's there. What is the default buffer for Prometheus metrics in the app if they're not being scraped? I'm not sure if I understand your question. What is the default buffer for Prometheus? So yeah, Prometheus automatically scrapes the metric endpoint at 15 seconds. I'm not sure if that answers your question. So all the Go function does is handle like an API REST response, and we can see exactly what it's doing. So the Prometheus package automatically handles all the base Go allocation and Go memory defaults that are inside your app already. So this is automatically set up. And you can see like my custom counter is right there called requests. Does that kind of answer your question, Miles? So once we've set up, you can go into Prometheus. It automatic once we've pointed it to this endpoint, so we can here we would show all of our go your question. I expect the event counter uses the differences between. Yes, there's yes, yeah, exactly, Matthias. Yeah. So, yes. So that's where Grafana comes in to record historical data. Yeah. And we're getting there with that. Yeah, I won't restart it. Okay, so once we've set up and we have Prometheus targeting this and we can see that this has been exposed, we can go into Grafana. Once we've logged in, you can go ahead and make a new dashboard. So I have a dashboard made for us already, just so we can get going with it, but it's really easy to go ahead and create a new dashboard. I just have that one like REST endpoint that I've made, and all this is doing is tracking what's happened to it. So we have the Go program running, we have Prometheus is injected there, peeling out the metrics for it, and we have our handler function that's incrementing our zips and being shown to us in Grafana. So if I go over here and we can do just an easy curl request to the endpoint, we wait our 5 seconds, we can go over here and see our Go program was hit, our zip endpoint was hit, we've zapped it. We don't have any response here yet, but once the dashboard's refreshed, we've had our one request. And this could be any sorts of things. You can see all the metrics that are automatically exposed already. I just have a short bash script that will curl us a couple billion times as we're going. And we can see you get the nice request counter going all the way up. And then every 5 seconds, we'll be able to update this from Prometheus. Stop the script. Let it grab the endpoint again. And we continue to keep updating our dashboard. So same thing, we can go in here and take a look at what it already has available to us. So we can add new panels to it, add the query, go through and look at the different metrics that are already available to us with the default Prometheus. So you can see all the Go routines, all of our memory allocation, anything that you want for specifically with Go. You can look at all the processes on the machine. You have some built-in prom HTTP handlers, as well as any sort of latency stuff that's built in as well. And uptime. Any questions about Grafana? So the last thing is I'll just kind of show you an example of what we've set up. So at Levin, we're using Grafana to measure a few different instances. We have a couple pre-built, like public built dashboards and a couple custom ones as well. So two that are community built. We have one for our HA proxy server. So you can see what we've set up here and what it looks like with Prometheus scraping the metrics for us. Some of these are custom, some of them are not. This is just all built in. If I remember correctly, this is all just built in with HA proxy. So nice to have this information available to us, as well as another community built one is we use the custom node exporters to check all of our node health. You can see we only have one spun up right now with it, so ideally it should get bigger. And then we have most of our custom metrics are all just built into our entire ops overview. So all of our JSON RPC calls, all of our requests, all of our open WebSockets, everything else, so we can track kind of what's going on with our system and we can troubleshoot any downtime. Same thing, it's really in depth. You can go and see everything that's recorded in Grafana, and this is all different exported times of Prometheus. So the two work together really well to allow you to record any sort of custom data that you want from your server or from your application. So it allows us great visibility into what we're actually doing. It's a really powerful tool. I recommend anybody check it out. It's easy to spin it up on Docker. It's easy to make an add instrumentation to your Go application. It's really valuable rather than using something off the shelf. It's so easy and to build something that's really powerful. Looks great, and the business can use it as well. So is there any questions? That's really all I had to show off. This is kind of where I'd like to know what everybody's doing, or if people have alternative tools or what else there is to check out. Like, I don't know what else really exists in this ecosystem. This has just worked well for us and what I was kind of introduced to and was able to learn, and it works really well for our team. Well, I hope we get better at the virtual meetups. It might be a while now, so it's was an experience to get it set up, but now that we've gotten it, yeah, Influx DB with Telegraph and Grafana, yeah. Yeah, so we're looking at using time series DBs for other, like I had timescale pulled up there. So we're looking at using timescale to start tracking events. So now it's, do we use Prometheus to record our events, or do we make a custom event handlers? Do we show it with Grafana? Do we show it with another data visualization software? So there's some questions that I'm looking into right now. New Relic. I haven't even heard of that. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, so this looks really similar. Just being able to export your ops data. It's very cool. I haven't heard of them, so. And Telegraph. Yeah, very cool. This is, I have heard about Telegraph, so I did watch the talk that the creator Prometheus gave and compared himself to this. So there's a good one out there that he has. You can just Google it. I'm not sure what it is. I can send the link out on Slack. I can't remember what it is, but he goes over a little bit more about how Prometheus is different from this. So. I would really like everybody to be on here so we could foster some conversation at this point in time, but I do appreciate everybody at least logging in, the four of you. It helps me go over and see what people are using, because I haven't seen the three out of the four of us have used something different, so it's interesting to see what's out there. Yeah, Telegraph is push, Prometheus is pull. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you guys for putting up with this, and we'll be sorting it out. All right, and our next meetup is again going to be virtually. I don't know the date, but check out edmontongo.org and we'll sort it out.